everyone. Welcome back to another of the video series created by Ignite DDS and Ignite DA and fueled by Care Credit and our friends at Patterson Dental. David Rice, it's good to see you again, my friend.
Kevin Henry, what's shaking, buddy? What's happening in Colorado?
All good here. Feels like spring. Love that. And looking forward to having a little chat today again.
I love it. Well, I'm super stoked for you to meet a friend of mine, Dr. Joyce Kong. How are you today?
Doing good. How are you guys?
It's a good day. It's sun's out, skies are blue. How's it by you?
It's a really good day outside too. I just went out to buy wine.
That's so hard. I love it. Well, so most of you already know Joyce and everything that she's doing. And what we really wanted to talk about today is, building a brand. How do you position your practice? I think, not to use that same old tired phrase of now more than ever, but now more than ever, we have some uphill battles to fight in dentistry. We have some huge opportunities. So Joyce, you want to just talk a little bit about what you do and where you like to do those things?
Yeah, I'm super active on Instagram. I show up there literally every day, whether I have my makeup on or not. And that's just to connect with the community, but also remind people that I still exist. I think when you're building a brand, it doesn't matter whether you're physically working or not. You have to stay top of mind for your potential patients. And right now I'm really not working. My office is closed, but I'm still making sure that people know that I'm open or I'm there when we do open up again.
I love that. Kev?
Yeah, and I'm curious on Instagram, is it them getting to know you? Is it dentistry? How do you balance between Joyce the person and Joyce the dentist?
It's a fine balance. What I usually define as like anything that goes onto my feed is a notch up in terms of how polished it is, because when people come to your feed, they should decide whether they want to get to know you more as a dentist. But my stories are pretty much fair game. I start to show people who I really am, and that helps bridge like this fear, like, because people don't really like the things that they don't know and that they're unfamiliar with. So like even starting a new Netflix show, that sucks. I hate starting new shows because I hate like things that I don't really know and I'm not used to. But by showing up on Insta stories, people really get to know who you are as a person. And then when they have to make the decision about whether they want you as their dentist, that becomes easier because they know you and they like you already.
I love that. So, tell me about virtual consults, because that's a growing thing out there.
Yeah, I've been doing virtual smile consults since August. And that's why I always keep building up my Instagram. I know a lot of dentists, especially, are always asking me like, isn't that so much time? Why do you spend so much time on Instagram? But for me, it's an investment. It helps me pivot my business no matter where I'm gonna go because I have reach. Like if I wanted to quit dentistry today, I could go be a real estate agent if I wanted. I have the reach, I have the attention, and that's what I've been able to do with virtual smile consults. Because you could offer a service like virtual smile consults, you could offer teledentistry, but if nobody even knows you exist, if you have no way to reach those people, it's not going to work for you.
True story. So there's some people that watch this that are, not at your level certainly, but are pretty savvy, social media wise. And there's some people here who really, I don't know, Kev, would you say they're beginners?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, for our beginners, what would you recommend? How would you recommend they get started to kind of build that brand and that presence and that persona?
I think it all starts with defining who you're targeting. We're not just on Instagram for fun. We're on Instagram defining who we are to the world. And that's part of building your brand. Everything that I put out is curated and it's strategic because I don't have time to just sit. It's like not just a fun thing for me. I'm working, I'm practicing. And so I have to be really, really strategic with the time that I'm spending on social media. It could be a total time suck to be on social media. Like the day will run away with you. And you want to make sure that you're driving patients and the whole reason that you're on there is being fulfilled. I think the best way to start is by defining that potential patient first so that you can start making content for that patient. You have to do it in that order. Like you don't just throw things out and just hope you're going to go viral. That's not really the point. And then once you define that patient, you can create the content. And I think the best way to create content now, today, without a photographer, without anything besides taking a selfie, is creating video, because that's really what's going to make you seem like an expert to the patients that you're reaching. And it's something that you can literally learn today and do. Just without your phone, take a video, cut it up, and then hit send.
I like it. And I love that premise. It's interesting. So pre this whole social boom, so like 15 years ago, we sat down as a practice and we defined our target. Who's our ideal patient? So at every practice, whether you're on social media or not, like you should be able to do that. You should be able to sit down as a team and figure out, in a perfect world, who's sitting in your chair. Who do you want to treat? What kind of dentistry do they have? Where are they from? You know, what's their profile, so to speak? And Kev, you can really engage our team to do that, right?
Absolutely. You know, and I think, you know, a lot of team members out there, you know, let's be honest, there are some dentists who aren't comfortable with social media. There are some team members who aren't, you know, so I think it's a matter of finding who on your team has that passion for it, and really talking to them about what is the ideal patient. How do you not just throw things out there and hope to go viral? You know, I think things like that are an important part of the strategy, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, my ideal patient is super specific. And so if you come to my Instagram, you'll know who my ideal patient is. She's like 30, 40, rides Peloton, you know, isn't afraid of a little Botox or a filler, you know, Sephora addict, likes a little bit of wine and luxury sweatpants. Like that is my girl. And that's who's going to come to my page. Even if I'm talking about dentistry, even if I'm talking about makeup, everything that I put out is targeted specifically to attract that woman, whether it's like educational or not. And by sharing just about yourself, like that's enough. You don't have to always position yourself as a doctor. People want to get to know you as a person as well. So what I put on my feed, even if it has nothing to do with dentistry, it is a little more polished, but it can be really anything as long as it's targeting that patient.
I love that. And for those of you who are really new to this, think about how specific Joyce just was. She defined a patient, not 5, not 10, not a range of people, but that's what targeting really is. And I think sometimes, I don't know, you probably have friends, Joyce, Kevin, I know you've met people in the industry that, you know, their target is, well, it's someone between 30 and 55, and it could be it's usually a mom, but maybe it's a dad. And it's like, how did you come to define your ideal target?
That's who I want to do dentistry for, because I do cosmetic dentistry and restorative dentistry, and I do it in an area demographic where people care a little bit more about preventative. They care to be educated. And so that's just like the woman that I resonate with. And you have to be authentic. Like you can't just like target this person, but not be yourself, because then that doesn't come off well either. I am that woman to that. I am that woman to that woman. I'm like that cool dentist that wears pink figs and golden goose sneakers. So like when anyone's trying to find a dentist and they're like a blogger, they're obviously going to come to me because I speak the same language as them.
Absolutely. Yeah, we talk a lot about mirroring patients, and you can do that with speech, you can do it with body language and posture, but yeah, you are the patient that you're looking for, and you live it, eat it, breathe it, sleep it, and it's just naturally you, which is perfect. Kev.
Yeah, it's funny because like when I was just joining Instagram, I look back on my first Insta stories and I was so awkward, and I was trying to be like a more like doctor-like version of myself. And through this process, I've realized I can just talk the way that I talk, and I can just write things in the way that I speak, and people will be attracted to that because that's like my patient demographic I'm trying to reach.
Exactly.
And making sure that you're reaching that demographic, again, you know, hopefully this goes without saying, it's a daily thing. It's a multi times a daily thing, correct?
Oh yeah. You have to stay consistent. Like this is, you have to keep the big picture in mind with these things. Like if you start focusing on those likes and followers, like you will totally lose track of what the whole purpose is when it comes to Instagram, because the algorithm is not built like that. It's meant to distract you from the reason that you're there. But so if you focus on these like little metrics, you'll get lost. You have to keep the big picture in mind. Anything with dentistry, I find that we have to keep the big picture in mind too. And it's really hard to toggle between both the micro and the macro, but that's what's going to make you successful.
I love that. And, we could talk all day about what you do. What's the best way for people to find you on all your channels that you're growing? Because I think really the easiest way for people to learn is to see you in action.
Yeah. My Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube channel, my blog, everything is Joyce the Dentist. And that is literally my business card. It's my business card, electronic business card. It's the passport to becoming a patient of mine. It's the passport to getting to know me better. And maybe that person will refer a patient to me.
I love that. And I know to some of you are thinking that's very simplistic, but the reason it is so simplistic is no matter what channel, it is consistent. And I could find Dr. Joyce no matter where I go with the same handle, and I don't have to think twice, which is a mistake we see often, right? Somebody has one name on Facebook, another on Instagram, another on TikTok. On LinkedIn, they go by a business name and not a personal name. And it's tough for everybody to keep score. Kev, thoughts?
It just makes me think how I haven't done a very good job branding myself. I just all of a sudden was like, oh, that's me. But no, I think it's really fascinating to see, and let's just say for my generation, to see how that these, the next generation is coming in and really changing how business is done and the key roles that social media makes with that. So Dr. Collin, good for you. That's been amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool too, always seeing what the future generations are doing. That's the whole reason I got on TikTok. TikTok is not like my thing. I don't dance. I don't like it, but it was a good exercise in figuring out what our future generations, how they receive information, what they're attracted to. Like as dentists, we need to always think about all the generations. Our patients are all different generations, and how we can communicate best with them to be the most effective.
I love that. We get a lot of people who reach out and say, TikTok, that's crazy. Who would do that? And I respond, well, one of the largest manufacturers in all of dentistry hired a 12-year-old to be their keynote speaker because of her TikTok status.
Really?
So to your point, this is preparation for today, and this is preparation for tomorrow. And I love that you are a perpetual student, because one, it just makes life fun. And two, it's why you're so far ahead of the curve. Any last pieces of advice for folks here today?
Just get started. People always think it's like so much easier for that person because they're used to seeing their face on a camera, or they like the sound of their own voice. Like no one really likes their own face and their own voice on camera. We're all our own worst critics. So the biggest hurdle is just stop the self-limitation. Like you just have to do it, and then give yourself some grace, because you're not going to be perfect at it and no one's expecting you to be.
Oh man, love it. Kev, want to take us home?
I would love that. Joyce, thank you so much. Joyce the Dentist. Now I'll be logging on and finding that, absolutely, and learning from you as well. So thanks to everyone for watching this. Obviously, Ignite always tries to bring you experts in the field, and we will keep doing that with this video series. Together we rise, and wishing you all health and safety as we move forward together.